Long before the Occupy movement started, and long after Pablo was organizing for the farm workers, sandwiched in between there, not on a scale, was a little cafe that had somebody walk in their door and said, AJ, do something, I'm going to lose my job. And I didn't really know what I should do because I was just a little struggling cafe myself. But what turned out to happen was a concert. I have a stage, I have 4 walls, I said use it. And we ended up having a Guinness World Record for the longest concert, the Assembly Line concert. And we did that to, we did that because we had a space that people could use, and I knew that a voice was out there that needed to be heard. So what we did was recognize the fact, and I tried to show that integral link that my little cafe on Main Street exists because people have jobs. And those people with their jobs have the dignity and security of having a paycheck, and with that they become vested members of a community, and they put their stakes down, and they become a homeowner, and they buy lattes from AJ's, send their kids to school, and all the things that make up society. So I normally make coffee over there because this is not about me. But I think Christo said it real well about Woodward Avenue. I am in Ferndale, about a half of the distance between the Occupy movement of the desolates and the crying out of the inequalities going on and the opulence of Bloomfield. And every point in between, there are people who are on that list, and all of them matter. And what the Occupy movement will need, and I'm not asking for it, but what they will need is advocates at the level of government that can stand up and say, I see where you're coming from, and I know your pain, and I know the perspective because I serve these people coffee every day from my own struggling cafe. So it is with extreme humility and the abundance of strength that you bring to me that I announce myself as a candidate for United States Congress. For the 12th District of Michigan, and I don't have that border mentality. I don't care what side of 8 Mile you live on. I don't care what color you are. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care. I care that there's a Wall Street mentality that has a 3-month profit mentality. Because I don't care where we get the workers from, I just care how cheaply we can get it done, because my investors are who I answer to. Well, I answer to the people of this community. And that's what we should have in Washington. You think lobbyist is a word that is bad? Well, guess what? The foundation of our society was founded on lobbyists, and they're people's lobbyists. And that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a people's lobbyist. That's what, and I don't want your money. I don't need your money. I have a story, and I have a voice, and I have people, and experience, and life, and a heart. And I don't care about the money, because it'll be a hell of a lot more than I make here, no matter where I go. This place breaks even at best. And I want to tell you, in all sincerity, I have done a gut check over this for a few days, and I know I can't have both. I can't have this cafe and work here 70, 80 hours a week to provide that platform for the voices that need to be heard, and go out there, because they're not all going to come into AJ's, and they're not all going to go to the Occupy movement, and they all have other things to do, but their hearts are in it. And I need you to be in it, and we need to decide as a community whether AJ's is going to stay or not, because I got to go out there. I got to go out there and represent Occupy to my ability. I'm not looking for anybody's endorsement. Please don't get me wrong. This started 3 years ago, when I had politicians come in here that wanted to get their picture taken at the assembly line because they wanted to take that back to Washington and say, hey, see, I'm with the people. They're all singing at this cafe in Ferndale, and I was there, and I got blessed for being here. But you know what? I said, you know what? While you're here, let me tell you what the people are telling me. Take this back to Washington because they don't like the scale of economy and politics at such a bad level. 3 years ago. And they said, AJ, we can't say it that way. We're not allowed to. NAFTA won't let us promote our workers and our people ahead of other countries. But you can say it, so go ahead. And I thought, really? Really? Wait a minute, don't you work for us? Call me naive, but isn't that the way it's supposed to work? We have representative government, which, by the way, the people I talk to in the Occupy movement think that's becoming obsolete anyway. Because the way we can communicate with each other at this time in our life doesn't necessarily need someone in Washington. They can form a consensus and they can have their voices heard. And if the politician in Washington isn't speaking for their interest, they're going to rise. And they have every right to, and they should. But because they're very strong, and that's a machine in Washington, they have to be able to get through and dialogue with them. And I want to be that person. Now, Washington is the system in place, and it's very powerful. And I have no illusions that this fella named Sandy Levin is going to be a little kick to beat. I think he's been around a while. And I like Sandy Levin. I do. I really, I voted for him. But I want to tell you something. If lightning were to strike and I got that nomination, it wouldn't be about Sandy Levin and it wouldn't be about me. It would be about the people. And that's the way it should be. And if I raise the dialogue one iota from what I'm doing so that the conversation can turn to what really matters, I've already won. Because the game about sitting in that office and getting acclimated to the language of Washington ain't why I'm going there, or ain't why I'm doing what I'm doing. Why I think I need to do this is because I know the language of community and Main Street, and Washington needs to learn that. Not the other way around. And my brothers and my sisters of every walk of life who have come in here and graced me with a moment of their time have given me the strength that I need to make the decision to be that people's lobbyist, or at least to give it my all and make no mistake about it. I got a lot of experience in staying up for a long time. I know how to occupy. So from now on, folks, I'm on a mission of more than just this humble coffee shop, and I don't know whether you pray or not, but if you do, just kind of give me a nudge. Thank you. Thank you.